Alright, hey guys, we're back, and I want to just do a little comparison here, 86 versus 96 curl, okay? So I think you can get away with both of these drivers. The problem with Apocalypse, or, well, especially the ones with no curl, Extra Mile, Thor, I'm kind of looking at certain clubs having too much distance. So what you're going to see me do is maybe try to use a Kingmaker Rock combination because it's going to be a little bit easier than Apocalypse. When you put a Kingmaker on a Apocalypse, it has 14 extra yards of carry. It puts you in kind of a weird distance. So here what you're going to see me do is I'm going to jump into this hole with a Rock driver intentionally, even with a better Apocalypse. I think Rock is going to actually be a better club because it's going to put you less in between clubs for this hole and let you go a little bit more into overpower as opposed to, so here you can see we would run out of fairway with Apocalypse, and here you can see that I'm going to almost be able to go full here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take off some of this top spin. I'm only going to use about 3. I really don't need the full top spin here. Another thing, I'm going to play the wind. So first I'm going to keep, I'm going to aim right about here, right on the edge of the rough. I'm playing the wind at this point, and I'm going to stack 1 on top and maybe another on top. So I'm going to go basically 2 additional bullseye targets, and you can see that I'm also going to back off power-wise with what I want to do and just go at this with a full slice with the Kingmaker, and you can see I actually hooked it too much. So you can see not quite enough, and I could probably go full overpower there. So it's going to require some tweaking. I could almost go full there, and I could even, get a little bit more topspin going. And but it's also going to be bounce specific. So if I hit a very good bounce on that fairway, but keep in mind that I did over adjust too much. I went 2 full targets on top of my initial aim, which was a little bit too aggressive, even with the 100% accuracy club. Now, the problem with trying it this way is you're not going to, unless you really got a good Apocalypse topspin club, going right isn't going to be as easy. And also, even if you did get over there, you're going to have a very crossed wind. So here you can see that what I'm left with is very straightforward. But if I can get, that drive to come in and say use maybe almost 5 rings less on my ring adjustment, then that'll work out favorably for me to get the drive up here further. And 3 to 4 topspin should kind of be the sweet spot. Now, for this, you could see that I sized it up and I was almost at mid-club, but you're going to see me still play it kind of like a max club adjustment here. So I am still playing very close to my max ring adjustment. Here it comes in. Ooh, just to the left. As you can see that we're able to give that a very good run to where we could easily still make it just by getting to the fairway. So keep in mind that I will just try to tweak the way that I play this, and from time to time, but also, factor in that you guys could have different winds than me. You could have different wind angles. There's very, possibility that if you try to add more power than me and you have more wind than I do, pointing down towards the hole, that, you can go long. So you do need to be a little careful. More importantly than anything, I'd like to get it just a little bit more in towards the right half of that fairway as opposed to the left half. But you can see it's going to be a very straightforward pitch, and the farther up that you can get it, and hopefully, you want to keep it out of the rough. So that's kind of the key there. Let me just go ahead and forfeit out here. Get that stroke down, get out of the qualification zone, and as I was just kind of mentioning to you guys, for that hole, just try to do your best to, get it to where it lands a little bit more aggressively towards the right. I wanted to be a little cautious with that first attempt there for that drive. And, you know, you saw how I stacked basically 2 full bullseyes. You can start to come in on that a bit. You know, if I do it again, you know, I'll come in 3 to 5 rings, depending on how strong the wind is. You know, you always want to keep that in mind too, because I could have a 7 wind, you could have a 9, for example. So factoring that in needs to be in part of the way that you go about, you know, setting up your shot. But, you know, for me, I'm going to go, if I have a similar wind to that, I'll go 5 less rings next time. And, you know, so that means I'd go 1 full target and then 5 rings. And hopefully put it up there very far. And like I mentioned, you know, you really need to cap the amount that you top spin it, because you've already seen, you know, so many guys kind of run it up through the rough long. And the more top spin you add to that, the longer it's going to go in terms of past the hole as opposed to towards the hole. So just something to keep in mind and think about. Good luck with that hole, and catch you guys on the next one.